It's John Franklin, Isaac, the Children of the Corn, and you're listening to the Timo and Harley Show.
Welcome to the Timo and Harley Show.
Thank you for listening to the Timo and Harley Show. I am Timo. Over there is my partner in Mindcrime, Mr. Ben Harley. Say hello, Harley.
What is happening, people?
Ben, hungry Hippo Harley.
Hey, Tim, I am hungry. How'd you know?
Well, it's a waking hour of the day.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
I took a stab at it and figured I'd be right.
Yeah.
So. How's your week been?
All right, my friend. So far, it's been okay. It's all right. Yeah, it's there.
Let me tell you a story about punk rock shows and memes.
Yeah, I heard a little something about that.
Yeah, so our singer is he's a dark humor kind of guy, an Ultraman. He's this dark humor kind of guy. He's not a touchy-feely kind of fella. Let's just put it that way. So he puts up, it was some kind of, it took me a while to discover what had happened here. Okay. So I had to decipher it, dig around, ask people. So apparently there was a meme going around after the Las Vegas shooting. Okay. Condolences to their families. That was a terrible tragedy. It was awful out there, but there was a meme going around that was in admittedly poor taste. Okay. That had a guy next to a window with a rifle and said, "When you get woken early in the morning by country music." Okay?
Yeah.
Now, that's in poor taste. All right. But it's not like, oh my God. It's one of those deals where in this world of social media, we have got to fucking learn to just move along. Just move along. People
lighten up a little.
People throw bombs into crowds on social media. That's what they do. They throw bombs. They call them trolls, this and that. They throw bombs on social media, okay? And you just have to be an adult and understand the strength of your life force is much more powerful than a fleeting meme on Facebook that probably nobody will see, okay? So he shares this meme about a day or two before the Descendants show. And he has a private profile. He does not have a public profile where his stuff can go everywhere. It is private. So somebody turns him in going, I can't believe somebody would do something like this. Well, I even saw it and thought it was in poor taste, and I moved along. Oh, by the way, the half dozen other people on my Facebook friends list, they did the same thing, although they didn't get banned from a goddamn thing. Okay, so let's talk about that. So he gets complained about one person, and it goes around the channels. Well, the booking agency that booked the Jason Aldean show just happened to be the one that was booking Descendants. Yeah. And everything was everything was okay until one asshat complained. One. Ladies and gentlemen, the world we live in, it has nothing to do with what was said in the meme. It has actually nothing to do with the reaction of the booking agency. All this is understandable. Okay? What's not understandable is, are we now shifting our views and values in this world due to one person complaining? Is that what we're doing?
Yes, we are.
So it's very important what the singer of the third band on a punk rock bill says. That this is where this wasn't even political. It was just in poor taste. That's all. Yeah. That's all.
Yeah. What was Tim Jameson's quote? I liked that quite a bit, Timo.
Oh, this century is the most unpunk rock ever.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's what happened. I mean, it was basically just one person cried and complained. And Jameson went through his Facebook thing and just blocked and unfollowed, or blocked and unfriended like anyone who was even remotely we don't know who did it. That's the one thing. We don't know who complained, but we do know it was one person. That's what we do know.
Right.
For sure. Right. It was one person. It's a sad state of affair. I mean, I'm just sad people are at each other's throats. I do blame the media, though. I think the media, is paying more attention to social media than they are straight news. And that's how we get the quote fake news. It's not Trump. It's us. Right. I mean, we're the one giving it out. People just have a random thought, put it out there, and it becomes fact. It's like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
Pia Zadora is not a 58-year-old, Greek man. What? Just like, what are you talking about? So anyway, Ben Harley, let's talk about something more fun. All right, let's talk about some fun than getting kicked off of. How the hell do you get kicked off of a fucking punk rock show? Jesus,
punk rock show.
I know, man. I'm excited about Sling TV a little bit. I don't watch it much.
Okay.
Because I don't really I don't like TV. Excited. Yeah, but I'm excited for a couple different reasons. I'll tell you why. First of all, it's cheap as hell. It's real cheap as hell.
Yeah.
So everybody else has their cable and satellite. I got a $30, $20 thing that's exactly the same as long as you have an internet hookup. So I'm happy. Okay. This is fine. I just look around and I'm like, okay. They also have a lot of on demand. Okay. They do have a DVR service, so you can DVR things up to like $100. And they have a lot of on demand. So let's say you go to like A&E. Okay, A&E channel. You go down the A&E channel, and it kind of looks like Netflix, sort of. It's like a box, and then you go down, and then you're like, well, who's on live right now, so you can watch what's on live. Yeah, A&E. Go under that, and then you have all these different shows they play. And it's almost like Hulu.
Like Apple TV.
It's like it's like Hulu kind of or something like that. Yeah. So you go in. Actually, it's a lot like Hulu now because I think Hulu has live TV. So.
I think so, yeah.
So I go on to, I do believe it was it History Channel? I do believe it was History Channel, okay? I flip down and start looking at what they got, because I'm looking at A&E and all this stuff, trying to find something to watch. Ben Harley. On Sling TV, on demand, on the History Channel, every cotton picking 60 episodes of Monster Quest.
Really? Yeah.
Oh, yes. I started on the Thunderbirds. The Thunderbirds. That's my hometown stuff. That's my Illinois stuff. It's the Thunderbird. That's a big thing around here. So, I'm excited though. Monster Quest.
No, it's good. And I said, they do have a few episodes on there for sure. Well, you said all 60. I was only able to get a few, but now that I have my DirecTV, my provider, I think I can sign up and start seeing a lot more of them. So I'll get back to you on that one, Tim.
All right. If not, I'll give you Sling TV's phone number. You need to get over there.
Okay.
It's a lot cheaper. You got your cable now. You got your good internet now. So. All right. Well, since I didn't play with the Descendants this week, I watched a few flicks here. Now, wait, hold on real quick. We are Fragile Porcelain is October 28th in Springfield, Illinois. I can't remember the name of the place. At the Nihilate Spookadelic something show. they have a Halloween show every year. We love those guys, so we're gonna go up there and rock out with them for a little bit. And then, of course,
Don't you dare put anything. Don't be putting anything on the internet before that.
Oh, God, no, I won't. No.
Okay.
But we're doing that. And then, of course, the night before Thanksgiving at Pop's, Fragile Porcelain Mice, and Annihilate again with Fuse 12 featuring the handsome and talented Brian Mary in that band there. So,
yes. Very handsome.
Yeah, so they'll be opening up for us. But again, since I did not get to play with the Descendants, Ben Harley, I had a little extra time I didn't think I would have on the weekend, and watched Alien Covenant.
Okay, yeah, we talked briefly about this. I think.
Yeah, I'll just tell you what happened. Okay, not everything, because you know what I'm saying. I don't get nasty on you or anything like that. Yeah, me and Angie sat down, we watched it, and I was kind of into it in the beginning, and it starts off more like a typical alien film. Kind of like people waking up on a spaceship, and you know what I mean? It's kind of more like that. I'm not saying that's exactly what it is, but it's more like that. You get to introduce the characters. There's like a beacon they're trying to find, so it's pretty interesting. And what's sad about this film is that I actually found it compelling enough to hold my attention until the monsters.
Really?
Until the aliens.
And the monsters fell off?
A lot of CG, real fast moving CG stuff. And I don't know. One of the things about Alien, though, was it was creepy. You know, it was. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And even Aliens, like, okay, they move. It was like a faster film, but there was a skinny dudes in suits. I mean.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was another time, Harley, where I was like, I just don't think this helped. So I basically kind of trailed off toward the end of the film, and I just started talking to Angie. I mean, it was this, we just started talking, and the movie was on, and I kind of told her, I was like, look, I'm sorry I'm talking, but, you know, I could be rocking in front of 2,500 people right now, and instead we're watching Alien Covenant. And she was supposed to come with me, so, I mean, it wasn't like she missed out too, you know. And we just started talking, and I fairly lost interest in it. So I'm going to go back at some point and watch it again. Okay. But not real soon. But it is a direct sequel to the next part of the story after Prometheus, for sure. It's definitely
so. It's okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Because it's got some of the same characters, right? Like the one jerky robot guy or synthetic guy.
Yeah, the jerky robot guy, the guy that, what is he? Yeah. Does he play Magneto in some of the X-Men movies, I think?
I think he does. No. Yeah, I think so.
I think so. Yeah.
You mentioned it.
Yeah. And so I think he is in, his name is escaping me right now. I know it, but it's just escaping me.
Yeah.
He's in it as a couple different robots. Actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay. He's the same model, you know, but it's just like, he's a couple different robots. So, like I said.
And a jerk.
Yeah. Well, one of them's a jerk, and of course he plays a nice robot and a McJerkington robot. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So the intrigue has more to do with the robots than the aliens, kind of. And again, I don't know. CG monsters, Harley, just don't really do it for me. I hate to tell you.
It depends, and it really depends. And some of these are just bad. They really are, you know.
Yeah.
And I like seeing, you know, and it's funny because you talked about that. The Alien was on the other day, and I only caught a few minutes of it. But even in the original Alien, it didn't. I mean, it moved okay, but not like super fast. It wasn't like running around so fast. And I think it got into that, like, was it Alien 3 when they're on the prison planet or whatever? Yeah, kind of. That's, you know, I think that's 2 when they started to like speed up a little bit.
Yeah, but I think those were still practical though at the same time. So at least it was in frame. Actually, me and Angie were talking about that when we watched the movie. I said, I remember getting real excited for Alien 3 and I saw it. And I've tried to like that movie since the day it came out. Yeah. I saw it at the drive-in and I can't get into it that much. I think I'm sick of Sigourney Weaver in this series. I think it's like, oh, come on, this woman can't survive this many times for this shit.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to hold judgment on Alien Covenant. I didn't hate it, but and Harley, you have to understand, and everybody I listen has to understand, I was not really in the right mood or frame of mind.
Sure. No, I don't blame you.
Yeah, that wasn't too happy.
I don't blame you one bit.
Yeah. Let's see here. Keeping up with my bad sequels that I've been watching from 1992 since we did Pet Sematary a week or two ago. I watched Pet Sematary 2.
Oh,
so with Edward Furlong in it, and it has a Clancy Brown in it though. I like Clancy Brown. He's the guy that plays the sheriff in that movie, like the stepdad, sheriff kind of thing. Yeah, I like him. He does the voice for what is it, Patrick or something on SpongeBob.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't he? Yeah, he was from Coach too, right? Wasn't he in Coach, the TV show Coach?
Well, that maybe he wasn't. Maybe he wasn't that character. Maybe he's something else, Squidward or something.
Okay.
He wasn't the blonde guy. He wasn't the big blonde guy. Is that what you're talking about? No. This was the guy that played the Frankenstein monster in The Bride.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Kind of a real deep set kind of face, big lurking guy or whatever. I like him. He's just really good. I just don't. That's just not. It's not a very good movie. It's not as bad as I thought it was when it first came out because I had high hopes going into it with normal. Like I know this movie is bad. It's still kind of bad.
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
Yeah, it's been a little while since I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I saw it for you, so don't worry about it. Yeah. Let's see here. Angio and I watched a movie with Charles Bronson in it, and I'm telling you,
Chuck Bronson.
That's right. This was his last film made for Canon Pictures. Okay, this movie was Kinjiti, Forbidden Subjects, from 1989. This was not a PC film. Okay. This movie was basically about trafficking young girls and stuff. And Bronson was pissed off about it, and they were going after his daughter for revenge to traffic her. Listen, if you want to traffic anyone's daughter, find somebody besides Charles Bronson. It's not going to work out for you. It's not going to work out for you at all. I mean, oh man, I tell you what, it was so non-PC it would cause an Antifa to riot and destroy his own living room. You know, I mean, it was so non-PC. It was fun to watch though. It was silly, you know. It was almost like Bronson was like, hey, wait a minute, Eastwood did okay doing these dirty, hairy movies. I'm just gonna throw one in at you here. This is canon. What the hell do I care? You know. But still, it was fun. Yeah, it was fun. Again, I think we were kind of talking, we were watching it, but you can do that during a Charles Bronson canon film and not miss much. It was okay. We did sneak in a couple Mystery Science Theaters. One of them was Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. So I don't have to say much more about that.
I think Jamie Farr might be in that. I don't know. I think
Jamie Farr
look a lot like all those characters look like I'm sorry.
No, that's I don't know who did the wardrobe, but I don't think they worked again in Hollywood. For that. Of course, my favorite character being Droppo, the goofy Martian. Droppo. Yeah, he is a bag of hilarity. Let me tell you.
Droppo.
Yes. Speaking of a bag of hilarity, I got that snooty TCM wine club that Angio and I belong to. And that's right. And one of our wines, which was a white wine, which apparently white wine is extra snooty. I didn't know that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Remember I told you that TCM suggests a film with their wines. And one of them was A Day at the Races, the Marx Brothers. And I was like, I love the Marx Brothers. So I went to my Marx Brothers Blu-ray collection, and it was the only damn one that wasn't out. It's not out, or I don't have it. I'm like, God,
really?
Christ, are you kidding me? So instead of and I do have it on DVD. I admit I do have Day at the Races on DVD. So instead of doing that, Harley, we pulled out one of my Blu-rays and watched the 1932 film Horse Feathers. So that was with the Marx Brothers, and all I can tell you is I just love the Marx Brothers. I just think they're hilarious. Yeah. So we had a lot of fun sitting there watching that. And let's see. A documentary on Amazon Prime, Punk 76.
Really?
Yeah, it's a British documentary on the origins of punk. Origins of punk. You know, you would like this because they actually gave Ramones some credit. For influencing across the pond, and for the pond influencing us, you know, across and for the Brits and stuff. But I thought you would enjoy the fact they even mentioned the Ramones in that.
Yeah, that's upsetting to me because they did. That album, the first Ramones album, Ramones was, like they said, it was like a Molotov cocktail thrown across England because it influenced everybody from the, you know.
Right. So. Yeah. So it was good. It was good. Again, I'm trying to get you over to Amazon Prime. Even if mentioning the Ramones doesn't do it, I'm not sure. Not sure.
Yeah, Cheap Trick documentary.
Yeah. They probably do. I'll find one, and that won't work either. So I'm not going to bother. Last part. This was kind of a weird thing I just want to talk about on Amazon Prime. Now, one thing I love about Amazon Prime is the weirdness. I mean, they just throw shit that people are digging out of the dumpster out of the back of old companies that made VHSs and stuff. They find this movie called Years of the Beast from 1981. Ooh. All right.
Okay.
This is the weirdest Christian rapture, second coming, revelation movie. It's different. It's well, the weird thing is that it's, first of all, it's 1981 and it's low budget, and they're trying hard with this. They're trying hard, and it's really not overly pious. which
Okay.
that's a plus. They're just showing regular people with this stuff happen. Now, it does float into it. It does float into Pi. It has to. I mean, for God, it's a Christian movie. It was shown in churches when it came out.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because society becomes really fascist after the rapture. Like like the first thing that happens when the people disappear is society kind of breaks down a little bit, and they cause a global martial law. And then a guy ends up becoming like the prime minister of the world, aka the Antichrist.
Ooh.
And stuff. The thing is with this movie is they don't really know how to let you know a year passed. You know what I mean? So you're like sitting there watching the scene going, oh, that guy, he's driving away from certain unrest. And then they edit to a year later where the guy's prime minister of the world. I'm like, whoa. Did I miss an election again? The hell? What the hell happened here? You know? So I almost held up a sign saying resist and not know why. I didn't know what was going on. But it was kind of odd. It was odd. But you know what? It was fascinating, though. It's funny because Angie was doing some painting. I was sitting on my butt. She was painting a wall. That's a long story. It was okay for me to sit on my butt that day, and she was painting a wall. And after the movie was done, she doesn't do this. Now, living in my house, you have to have some respect for Angie for not doing this more. But right when the movie was over, she looks over me and goes, "What the hell were you watching?" That's I tried to explain to her. But here's the thing, all right? A couple people that were in this movie, all right? Here's the beast. Oh, by the way, it was US/Canadian, if that helps put a little oddballness. In there for you. One of the actors in the film who plays kind of an old guy, crazy survivalist kind of dude who's out in the woods and stuff like that. And the cops are after him because nobody can think for themselves anymore. Not after the rapture, Harley. It doesn't happen.
No, you're not supposed to.
Happened to be played by a one John Locke, who was known as the Sleestack leader in Land of the Lost on TV.
Really?
Oh, I'm not done. There's another character I could not believe. I'm watching this movie. I'm like, I know who that guy is. I know I'm watching a 1981 low-budget U.S.-Canadian Christian film that was shown in churches, but I know who this guy is. So I looked him up, and it was a Mr. Jerry Hauser, otherwise known as Killer Carlson from Slapshot.
No, Dave Killer Carlson?
Killer Carlson. That's right.
Yeah.
He turned to Jesus, and he was happy in the rapture.
I hear his voice. I think he does a lot of voiceovers for commercials.
Oh, I think he does
too. I hear him all the time. Yeah. He's got a very distinctive voice.
Yeah.
Dave Killer Carlson.
That's right. I thought I wanted to end my whole thing with telling you that. I thought that would be...
I think he actually married one of the Brady girls on one of the Brady reunion things back in the day too.
Really?
I think he married. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he played in one of the. I think he married Marcia, as a matter of fact.
Wow! Hey,
Lucky
that's a
devil.
catch. There you go. Yeah, a couple of them Brady's are going to be at the Vet CityCon in Bowling Green, Kentucky, at the end of January. I think Cindy and
Bobby.
Bobby, that's right. Yeah,
Bobby Brady.
Yeah, the little types are going to be there. Yeah. That should be fun. So
that's awesome.
Well, that's what I want to end with, Harley. What you got? You got stuff for me?
Dave Killer Carlson. Well, I wish I could lead it in with some hockey news. Well, I have been watching the New Jersey Devils, Tim.
Yeah, how's that going?
And they're very much surprised. Oh, very well so far. Well, we'll see after tonight, but they're 2-0, so they're doing good.
They got a long way to go.
Good, making me happy.
Yeah,
making me happy. I don't want them to play tonight. I just want it to stay where they're at.
It's a 2-game season.
Yeah, there's only 80 more to go. Oh, geez.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Good stuff though, Tim. Two things I want to talk about. I did finally get to watch Revenant here recently.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed it. I had a feeling I was going to, just from the previews, and you know how we like our me, you, and Bob our movies about trappers and the wilderness and things like that, and with Death Hunt and stuff.
Oh yeah,
So, I actually really enjoyed this film. It's not very often for me anymore that there's certain films that come around that you're just like, I want to say I was on the edge of my seat, but it had my attention, and is it Tom Hardy that's in that, Timo, right, with him?
Yes.
Tom?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not often, too, that you come across a character that you're like 5 minutes in, you're like, oh, I cannot wait till this son of a bitch gets it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I can't wait. I just can't wait. But, man, some really intense scenes. I know a lot of it got talked about with the bear, him getting attacked by the bear, which, we're fans of Grizzly and stuff like that.
Right.
And I want to say, wow. That was a very intense scene, but there's also many, many other super intense scenes in this film. And I'm very surprised that it got as many nods or Academy Awards as it did. You know what I mean? I think Leonardo got, did he win Best Actor for that?
I have no idea. I don't remember. I don't pay
Not that I really
that.
follow.
I don't either.
Yeah, but like, I really enjoyed it. I came out of it thinking, man, that was a really good movie. They really don't make movies like that much anymore. I don't think, and the fact that they actually had one made about that subject. Hey, I felt like I was watching something from the 70s again.
Right.
Or, it was a little bit.
Well, wasn't it? It's a remake of the same true story that Man in the Wilderness with Richard Harris was based on.
Yep.
So as a matter of fact, that's coming out. That's out on Blu-ray. Man in the Wilderness just coming out. Yeah, just coming out on Blu-ray. Yeah,
I have to get that. But it was just it was good. There was definitely some scenes that made me wince. Like, oh, ooh, geez, look out. You know what I mean? And but I liked it. I really liked it a lot. I thought it was a good film. So I'm glad I got to finally catch that. Let's see here, Timo. Also, let's stick with bear attacks.
I'm all right with that. Sure.
Okay. All right. I did watch a film. Since I've got the DirecTV, we got the free 3 months of HBO and Showtime and stuff. I've been trying to tape as many things as possible.
Right.
And I still have 80% left of my, memory. So that's good too. So
doing good.
I'm going to be taping even more.
About 40 hours in. About 40 hours in then.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Yeah. So I taped a movie the other day called Unnatural, and it was all I saw was about a genetic. I don't think it said mutated, but genetic enhanced polar bear.
Right.
Runs amok basically, and so I thought, well, I'll tune into that, and I did get to watch that yesterday morning while I was printing, and not bad. I know the actors and actresses. Was it Sherilyn Ray?
Sherilyn Fenn.
Fenn?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
She's in it.
I flirted with her.
Yeah.
I did.
Blame you.
I did. I straight up did. I even told Angie I did. I was like, look, I just,
Yeah. She's something.
Yeah. And
she
James
used to
Remar.
be something too.
Yeah.
James Remar's in it.
Yeah. James Remar. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's good. I like him.
Yeah. No,
I've
really
always liked him as an actor, and it's funny because we just watched, 48 Hours the other day with him in it.
Right.
And it was something else. So I've been kind of on a James Remar freak out a little bit lately, but, I just thought it was good. I thought it was a good movie. Now, I think it could always be better, but this, for me, it just seemed like, I don't want to put it in the category of an asylum film by any means, but it had that feel, but yet it also felt like they cared about this film, though. You know what I mean? It was like an asylum film that they cared about, I guess.
Yeah.
Now, they kept the polar bear hidden a lot, which I was okay with too, but it seemed like more towards the end, you saw a little bit more of the polar bear. And it had like some werewolf type qualities, I thought, it did. It just kind of looked more vicious and fangs and, just, that was my werewolf impersonation. But
that's pretty good. I jumped out of my seat.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, I bet you did. Yeah.
Well, there's a little bit of, isn't there a Native American or an Eskimo character in that too? And that's a nice little touch, too. I think 4 or 5 pretty good name actors or actresses, you know what I mean? And it had some cute girls that were really easy to look at too. That's that was important. So, but I did enjoy it. I thought it was good. The ending is kind of a little bit of a letdown. There's a Jaws 4 maybe influence. Highly influential film, especially the end. Yes.
Yeah.
How to fudge everything and just put it out. Yeah.
Yeah. But I did like the fact that, I'm not the biggest environmentalist. I do like the outdoors. I do think that we should be, cleaning up the environment and things too. But I did like in this one, the company was more of an eco-friendly company, but they were the ones that basically created the bear. And then at the end, Sherilyn Fenn's character, who did survive, was like, oh, that's okay. We're going to be doing more,
Right.
And I'm like, oh, well, that was cool. That was neat. But the whole ice auger on a snowmobile running it into the polar bear was a little bit, whatever, So, but I did enjoy it. I went into it with pretty low expectations, and I came out like, hey, it wasn't bad, So I did enjoy it. One other thing, Tim, I want to speak on that something that I'll get back to, some of the things with Gotham that I've been watching and things too, and I know I want to get into with you about The Exorcist. They did do another season. I know you and I talked about. So I haven't watched one yet, but I'll be catching you up on that.
All right.
But yes, my daughter Zoe and I went last weekend to Marvel Universe Live downtown here in Toledo. And they had like 3 showings on a Saturday and then 2 showings on Sunday. And we went to the 1:00 showing on Sunday. And I tell you what, Timo, I had a blast. They really... It was kind of broken into 4 parts, I guess, 4 acts, I guess. But they really did a lot. You know me and Marvel, I'm really touchy about that, but they didn't. One character, they kind of, Electro, his suit was a little bit different, but it looked like Electro. You could tell from across the room, across the stadium, that it looked like Electro, you know what I mean? So I appreciated that. It just was very well done, lots of pyrotechnics, techniques, and a lot of motorcycle action and kung fu fighting. They even brought out Iron Fist, who is a very not a very well-known character,
I know, right?
What I mean?
Yeah.
But they even brought him out. They had the Rhino, and the only one they didn't bring out was Mysterio, who I'm a big fan of, against Spider-Man. But they, for the most part, just about everybody else. But just a good time. I had being there with my daughter, spending time with her was first and foremost for me. But we had a great time. And basically kind of what they did, Timo, I'll keep it a little bit shorter, is they had the Guardians of the Galaxy kind of mixed with the Avengers and some other characters too. You know what I mean? And they basically fought Loki, who I think I was the only person in the crowd that was Team Loki. I don't know why. I think he's just misunderstood. You know what I mean? But I had to clap for Loki a couple of times. People are probably thinking, what the hell is wrong with this guy? I don't know what's wrong.
Don't stare at him, Martha. There's something wrong with him.
Yeah.
You can't help it. You can't help it. Yeah.
You can't help it. He might be touched. But, you know what? It was a lot of fun. I recommend, if it does come around St. Louis area, I think you and Chance would have fun going to it. It's just, I'm not much for... Okay, I like plays too. Some plays are okay, but I'm not much of a Broadway fan. I don't really, certain musicals, but I understand, and it happens, and there's even people in rock bands that do it too. Now you exaggerated movements and motions and stuff because you want the person in the back of the building to see it just as much as the person standing up.
It's totally opposite of
so
film.
some of that. Yeah, some of that annoys me a little bit, but you know what? They just put on a great show. It's funny because even the people in the show working, as soon as the lights would go down to start the next act, them son of guns were working hard, cleaning up stuff, and moving things around and stuff. And here I'm appreciating that stuff. I'm like, oh wow, look at these guys. So I'm fans of the road crew too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyways, they. Just a great time. It was a nice outlet, something fun to do. And it just, what a great production. You know what I mean? Like they had a big, humongous screen, Timo, that you would have loved. I'm sure you'll probably have about the same size at your new house. But
maybe not quite that.
This thing was huge. Yeah. This thing was huge, And then what they could do is they could project stuff up there so it looked like a city scene. They brought a dragon to life, all these things that it was really cool how they did it. So the choreography, everything top notch, and just had a blast. And my daughter. Now, I will say the prices were a little bit steep. $9 for a popcorn.
Whoa.
Makes you want to kind of,
Popcorn has made it's not you have to go hunting for popcorn,
No, I don't even think they had 90 cents in the popcorn and the box together. You know what I'm saying? Much less $9, but it was an Avengers popcorn or something. But it made me want to take Thor's hammer and smash some shit. So I wasn't real happy about that. But we had, I said, So I made sure I had some of that $9 popcorn too. So.
There you go.
but what a good time, Timo. Great time. And I said I will get back to you on Gotham and some of the other things like The Exorcist that I've been watching too. And I got some other movies coming up.
Oh.
On my free, I've been definitely taking full advantage of the word free is one of my favorite words in the English vocabulary. And I will always take up anything free. So I've been taping lots of movies. Actually, one that we are going to be doing today, one that we're reviewing actually came up on the free thing.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Yeah, that's right. So,
well, it's like in the 70s, did you grab like free albums and take them up to the counter and bitch? Because there was a price on them. Okay.
Like, what's this? Yeah. What the?
Let's get to our official level films. We'll get to that one second. Yeah. How about that? We'll get to that one second. We'll go to the newer film this week. The movie, I see this came out, I believe it was dated 2009. And the film is Perkins 14.
Perkins 14. Yes, sir.
14. All right. Let me get out movie guy and I'll give you a little synopsis here. Perkins 14. Here we go.
Yes.
In the resort town of Stone Cove, 14 children have been missing for more than 10 years. One of them is Kyle, the beloved son of Sheriff Dwayne Hopper, who is obsessed to find out what happened to him. Well, I wonder why.
Yeah, that's
obsessed. I mean, all right. When pharmacist Ronald Perkins is arrested, Dwayne suspects that he might have abducted his son. He asks his pal Hal to go to Perkins' house to investigate. Hal goes to the basement and finds many cells. And accidentally, he releases the creatures that are imprisoned. Hal is murdered, and the creatures escape. Yeah, that's set up. That's up. Yeah,
there it is.
So that's basically it. There's a pharmacist they arrest, and he's like did it kind of give you like a Hannibal Lecter kind of feel, like a Silence of the Lambs for a little bit, with the Perkins guy in the jail cell, and I mean in a low budget kind of way. But and
exactly.
And the main cop guy coming up, kind of questioning him, asking him, he's trying to help. So actually I do believe one thing, Harley, the guy who played Eric Ross in this movie was Michael Graves from the Misfits.
I wondered that. I thought, I kept thinking, wow, that looks a lot like Michael Graves. I swear to God.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow, that's funny. He's actually going to be here in Toledo this weekend.
Really?
In effect.
Huh.
Yeah, on Saturday. Yeah, right. I was thinking about going to.
Well, tell him you watch Perkins 14. So, and then
maybe if I take that and get it signed by.
Take a blank disc. I'm sorry.
Like, what the heck is this?
Right. What'd you think, Harley, about Perkins 14?
It's an okay film. Actually, now this is more of a lower budget film, isn't it, Tim? I mean, didn't have a big release by any means.
Well, here's the thing. Maybe we'd help you out here. It has an odd feel and atmosphere to it, and the reason is because it was shot in Bucharest, Romania. So it's Romania trying to double for the United States.
Yeah, because man, it had a really weird feel to it, in a good way though. Mm-hmm. Some of it. For me, though, you know me, Tim. it moved a little slow at 1st, like, but I think it had that dreamy, weird quality to it. And I did feel like it did have some Silence of the Lambs thing, but I don't, that was okay. I kind of, got over that. But I did find the main character, the father, I don't know, he was a good actor, but sometimes, maybe he was a little obsessed, but yet, like you said, who wouldn't be?
Right. Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Your kid gets taken and stuff, and they didn't spend a lot of time going back and showing what happened, They did a couple, but wasn't like, they didn't beat you over the head with that too, which I enjoyed as well.
Right.
Now he kind of finds out, that guy is one who did abduct his child, right? Or I don't think did he do the abduction, or he was just like, I don't know if he did just the guy just did the experiments or whatever.
Well, I think
it doesn't. Really
it doesn't, but I think that's what it is. He's basically he wasn't killing anyone. He was putting people down in his basement, creating monsters to basically come back after the parents. Is basically what he was creating, which I found that when I saw this movie the first time, probably back in 2009, at least when it came on in video, I remember thinking, you know what, this has something to it. This is a little different. They're not really monsters, but he kind of creates them into monsters. He kind of turns them into like fast moving zombies, maybe.
They're like zombie Michael Myers is some of them. Yeah. Too. Like his son's he's got it's just.
Right, his son comes back, right? So he's one of the
his son comes back and he's just chasing him with a butcher knife a couple times,
right?
But I don't know, Tim. Like I said, it did move a little bit slow and stuff like that, but I think that lent to this movie. It was better that way than if it was all fast paced and he was going crazy and driving around and like driving through buildings or trying to, it was and I like that because it felt more like a thriller at times, which I'm okay with too. And it was a good mixture of a thriller and a horror flick, because I will say too that whoever did the special effects in this film did a great job. And some of it was pretty intense. There's an intense scene in the hotel room where one of the monsters comes back and grabs like a champagne bottle and beats the hell out of a guy with it. And that scene for me was like, wow, wait, whoa. It was almost like, whoa, slow down. No, it was intense. And they showed everything. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like everything. I was surprised because usually stuff like that, they show it happen from the perspective of the killer. You might see some blood splatter, but no, this was full on like, wow, and for me, me, I'm not that much into the gore, but I was like, that was impressive. You know what I mean? Wow. I thought for this film, the special effects were pretty good. Yeah. So that didn't have much of a problem with that. But at one point I was like, God damn zombies, but then I'm like, wait, no, they're not zombies, right. So I had to kind of, pull back a little bit from that. But I thought for the most part, it was a good film. I think it was treated well. It was done, whoever did it, director, all of it was done well. It seemed like they cared a lot about this film. You know what I mean? It wasn't pulling any punches. Now was the sheriff guy, was he the greatest actor of all time? No, but yet at the end of it, I thought maybe he was the right character for this, because you don't always need someone who's like the greatest actor and the most handsome. You know what I mean?
Well, he's from Belfast in Northern Ireland.
Is he?
So he was hiding an accent. I think, and
that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's probably what you were kind of noticing a little bit. This whole movie is a little off because it's very international. And they're trying to really hone in on it being just a small town in the United States or maybe Canada, but it's definitely on the side of the pond, and they're really honing in on it. It feels
a little Canadian.
It sure does.
A little Canadian.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Which is okay too. I actually just played hockey with some Canadians today, so they're all right.
Yeah, but sometimes you're like, am I on acid or is this a Canadian movie?
Right.
I do agree with you though. It starts out like a kind of a curious psychological dark drama. Yeah. And it kind of really morphs into a creature feature in a pretty interesting way. And the other thing too about this, there was
sure.
a movie called Satan's Little Helper that came out, I think around the same time, and within like a 3-year period of this. And it was similar in that you're watching this, I guess, smaller story, like the psychological thing in the jail and stuff like that. And it just kind of out of nowhere becomes a community-wide event. And it always throws me off, and I like it. It's like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
The whole community is being attacked. It's not just like it was one person or another. I mean, it's like a big thing. It turns into a mini apocalyptic event, which I think it always draws me in when that happens. You know, because sometimes I don't like the smaller stories, like the smaller feel, like two characters. Sometimes I get, like you say, it's slow. It just grains on me sometimes. It's like, oh, God, just give me another character. Do something, you know?
I don't like these characters.
But you can't, if you go in this movie blind, it's one of those movies where you don't know where it's going to go. I mean, you don't know where it's going to go. I mean, you could probably figure out, okay, maybe this guy has a couple people doing something to him. But you just can't, like, wait a minute. They're getting out and they're doing that? You know, I mean.
Because, I thought they were just being abducted and he, or he was just a serial killer.
Yeah, right.
Way beyond that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
Which I thought was kind of cool, too, I guess. I don't want to say cool, you know what I mean? But I guess
for the story.
It was, exactly.
Yeah. I'm going to give Perkins 14 just a great bait up. And this is the second time I've seen it. And I saw it when it came out. It's one of the few movies that in color, not missing color, but it's one of the few movies that come out in the last, especially 10 years, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially it's one of the, maybe 20 years. It's a little bit of a bright spot. It's not awesome. It didn't blow my world away, but I liked it. It was a bit compelling enough for me to be interested in it and watch it and enjoy it. And watching it a second time, it didn't, because I knew what it was, because I knew it was going to happen, I didn't forget it. So here's the thing. So it's kind of a catch-22, kind of a double-edged sword. The movie left an impression on me to the point where I kind of remembered it. Pretty good, actually. And which is odd, because usually, man, I smoke memories out of my mind when it comes to music or movies right away. And so that's impressive, but it also challenges the second viewing. Because when you know what's going to happen, you know what's going on, it better be entertaining enough for you to enjoy watching it again.
And I think this is one that is, it
wasn't too bad.
I would actually recommend to a few people, I think that would enjoy it.
Right.
I think this is one of them films that even a non-horror fan would enjoy for the fact of the, it is kind of a thriller, but then it's got enough horror in it too, for your true horror fans.
Right.
And it's got enough of the other stuff that for people who aren't super horror fans, but still like a good film like this, I think it's got a little bit of both.
Right. So what's your rating? What you
and
giving
just
it?
the right amount.
Right.
I'm going to give it a great bape up.
Okay.
Timo,
a solid, normal, great bape up?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. That's what I'm going to do too. So interesting though. It's an interesting film. I'm sure you realize right away, given when this movie came out, given what it is, and I actually sent it to you to review, there was something about it. I'm sure at this point in our career doing this show that when I send you something like that, that something caught my attention. Unnatural would be like that, actually. I just don't have it. Yeah. I watched a DVR just like you did. But see, I did it during a free view weekend. That's what I used to do. Since you don't get stuff taken off your DVR, I didn't pay for nothing. I just waited for it happens like 2 or 3 times a year. They have a free weekend. And they play all their best stuff on that free weekend. So you just DVR everything. You've got everything they've shown in the last 6 months, basically. But I mean, getting back to, I'm not surprised. I kind of thought this might be one that might kind of like get into you because it does slow. It accelerates as it goes, but I thought it would kind of catch you a little bit. So, okay.
Yeah. I think it's just well done too.
It is.
Kudos to them.
It is. I mean,
I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah. They did hide the fact that it wasn't in Bucharest. Although you could kind of tell, I had to look up, like, what's going on? Where is this at? So, but all right, well, let's move on, Harley, to our next official film from 1973. We have the movie.
Explain that to somebody.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see here. Let me get synopsis. But we do have some poster art blurbs, and I know you want to hear them first.
Nice. Good.
Right? Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Once this motion picture sinks its fangs into you, you'll never be the same. All right, that's one of them. Now, right under the title of, there's a little blurb that says, "Don't say it, hiss it." All right.
That's awesome.
All right. Let me get you a little synopsis here. Here we go.
Okay.
Here we go. All right. Strother Martin and Dirk Benedict star in this eerie tale of a respected snake expert who masks a frightening desire to transmute a man into a king cobra. Realizing that his new lab assistant, David Benedict, is the perfect specimen, the demented doctor begins administering to him injections of immunization serum. Soon, David begins experiencing strange and disturbing side effects. His skin is shedding while his body shape is changing. But before he realizes the horrible truth, the metamorphosis from human to serpent has begun. All right.
Yes.
Again, we have Strother Martin. Let me tell you something about Strother Martin. I'm going to start off here. Well, two things. First up, let's say that Dirk Benedict looks so fucking young. He looked fake. I thought he actually had a facelift before he got old. Dirk Benedict. He was so young looking, it looked like his face was upside down and things were trying to shoot from the sky.
He did look young.
Now, I remember I just saw him a few months ago, and he got haggard as the weekend went on. I think he had a few drinky poos. And but nice guy. He was very friendly, everybody. But the thing with Strother Martin, I'm going to send you on your journey here talking about.
Love that guy.
Yeah. The thing with Strother Martin, he's pretty good at handling snakes. He's pretty good at handling snakes, I was like, he's really handling those snakes. Now, I'll get to a few of the big scenes, explain how they did them in a minute. But for the most part, he was yanking on snakes, pulling them around and grabbing them by the head and everything, And I was like, wow.
Yeah, Timo, because I think around this time he was actually wrangling hockey players in Slapshot too. So he played he was their general manager. He was cheap bastard.
He was wrangling up Killer Carlson.
Dave Killer Carlson, yes.
Yeah.
And Hanson brothers. So
yeah.
Yeah, he was pretty good at that in there, Timo, wasn't he?
Yeah, I was really impressed. And actually, I think they said that the snakes were real. The actors really had to mess with the snakes. Now, the only thing where it was a rubber snake and like glass and stuff was when he was actually patting the snake on the head for doing the demonstration for the people. And that was right. Not the same. But
Strother Martin is great, in anything. So he makes me believe, But I actually, it's funny because I do like him, and I completely forgot that he was in this film. Now, this is one from my childhood, like it came out in 73, so I would have been about 3. But I think I saw this when I was around 4 or 5 years old, and I remember it freaked me out as a kid. Freaked me out, and I'll never forget this movie or, Dirk Benedict, because, from there on he went to and did Battlestar Galactica, and then the A-Team, but I always remembered him, from this film. And it just, as a kid, this was one of those that just like was probably one of my introductions kind of into horror films or something different, you know what I mean? I noticed, which I know you were proud of me, Timo, I noticed that this was a Zanuck, right? Zanuck and Brown production.
That's right.
Jaws guys.
That's right. This is the first movie they did together. This was their first production together.
Really?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so that made me kind of chuckle at the beginning. And then the fact that having Struthers Martin in it was just awesome. But my little 4 or 5 year old mind, I'm is a little bit different than my now 47-year-old mind. Right. I think I was a little smarter maybe back then, but
Yeah.
I remember, like I said, this movie really scared the bejesus out of me when I was younger. But not that I think it's a bad movie. I'm happy we went and watched it. And what's funny is, you and I were talking about this movie briefly after we just did The Bite, whatever, not The Bite.
Curse 2, The Bite.
Curse 2, The Bite, yeah. And it kind of reminded me a little bit of stuff from... And
especially the slithering,
we were talking about this.
Yeah, especially that slithering man snake thing they do. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And lo and behold, on my free, my 3 months free Showtime HBO came up in the guide, and I was like, "You got to be kidding me!" So, right, I taped it, and it was meant to be, Timo. But I don't think this is a bad movie. I actually enjoyed the movie, but there's just not enough snake. And for some reason, I don't remember him completely. And I guess maybe I do, but while I was watching, I don't remember him actually becoming full on snake. But then, the more I think about it, maybe I do. I don't know, but I think that part was a little weak. I think there just needed to be a little bit more snake, or I would have rather him became more of full on snake man or whatever too, right. But like I said, as a kid, this stuff scared me because first off, he trusted Struthers Martin, and he's keeps giving him more and more stuff. Oh, you need this stuff for, snake venom for bites and this, and right. other things. And he keeps feeding him stuff, and he's getting worse and worse as he goes along. Yeah. But I think that really freaked me out too as a kid. And then the fact that he became the snake, and at that point too, I'd been watching black and white monster movies and things like that. And then to see a guy actually kind of look like a snake and stuff like that really, I think, freaked me out too as a kid, But I'll never forget this movie for that simple fact that it kind of was sort of my introduction into, this is before I saw Jaws and before I saw, Grizzly and all these other, movies. So I think giant monsters run amok type films. I think this kind of, for me, was my introduction to those things. And I think it might be one of the reasons that I like a lot of the things that I do as far as, right. I know Jaws was a much bigger influence, but this was right there. You know what I mean? As far as, it's not Jaws.
Right. No. So,
you know what I mean? But I'm just saying it just, I'll never forget this. In some of my oldest memories, this film is there, right there. You know what I mean? So Timo, who's the girl in this movie?
You know what? I was laughing because I think I looked her up, but I didn't get anything. So familiar now. Well, she looked like to me, and she looked like the Gabe Kaplan's wife on Welcome Back Kotter. That's who she looked like. I don't think she was though, because I actually looked it up and I failed to write anything down. I don't know. I'm not sure who she was.
Mixed with a little leather Tuscadero, maybe
a little bit. Yeah. This movie's kind of like a primitive version of Cronenberg's The Fly. In a way, it's a transformation, long drawn out transformation movie. And the other thing too is not unlike the Frankenstein. I don't know about the Frankenstein films, but really Strother Martin is the real monster in this movie.
Oh yeah, exactly. He is big time.
Yeah, big time. It's like this movie too. Something I noticed that this film was made back when people still thought critically of science. And I don't mean to say they were critical of science. They thought critically, as if a scientist could make a mistake. Right?
Right.
And people might be going, what are you talking about? It's like, we're doing a lot of things off scientific theories here that we really don't know for sure, but we get into this argument about things that nobody knows for sure. We have a clue. We do a lot of things, and we can manipulate small things in the world and stuff, but that's basically what we can do. I found that interesting because remember, it was kind of funny how every scientist for a while was bad. And then every scientist was good. It just goes back and forth, it seems like. And It was actually, this was another person who was in this film. I don't know if you noticed, but the Murray meat musclehead guy, Reb Brown.
Yeah.
Reb Brown, who played Captain America in the 70s Captain America movies. That was a young, handsome fella. Also in The Howling 2. Yeah, he's a star of Howling 2, right.
Poor guy.
This was directed by Bernard L. Kowalski.
Yeah, you know, the famous Kowalskis.
Yeah, he was
Killer Kowalski.
Yeah, he was his big movie was Attack of the Giant Leeches before this. So Zanuck and Brown weren't shooting their sights very high for their first production together as far as a director, but the guy knew what he was doing. He had done some work before. The other thing too is this was one of the last double features that was put out by Universal. They put this movie out with The Boy Who Cried Werewolf.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I think it's better than that, man.
I don't know. I think both movies have got some fun and some silliness to both of them, and I couldn't tell you which one was really better. But I kind of like this movie, and for me, it's kind of slow, but it's silly enough. And Dirk Benedict, I'm telling you, I kept looking at him, going, "Is his facial features? Is he like doing this performance staying on his head?" I mean, because he really looked like his eyes were going up and everything. He was so damn young in this movie. I mean, so damn young. And this was, 73? So we're predating Battlestar by, 5 years? 6 years. We're predating A-Team. So, I mean, not everybody can grow as handsome as us, Ben Harley.
No.
Not everybody gets better looking with age like us. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Not everybody. Not even a Dirk Benedict. But I'm gonna give it a great bait up. Not a big one. I don't think it needed more. Well, I think I know what you meant. I don't think it needed more snakes. It had snakes coming out of the ears. But you're right about it could have used a little bit. He was too much of a whiny bitch when he was turned into a snake. Here's the other thing real quick too. Since when the hell do snakes make sounds like the aliens from the green slime?
I was just wondering about that too.
What?
They did make some sense.
Well, why don't you make it bark for its food too while you're at it? I mean, what the hell? I don't know. So,
right.
But it's a great bait up. It is a bit of a nostalgia movie. Strother Martin's really good in it. I was getting a little blown away by how the actors are handling snakes still. I'm looking at the clock wrong on the wall, and I'm like, oh my God, they can handle those snakes,
Yeah. No, it's the truth though. It really is.
Yeah. So I'm going to give it
some of these actors and actresses too. Yeah. They some of these stunts and things that they're doing. I'm like, wow, that's pretty intense.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So you're giving it a great bait?
I'm going to do the great bait. Yeah, it was a little more mild, but not like super mild. I mean, it was fairly enjoyable. It was done well, especially for when it came out. There's not a lot of really great horror films coming out, like around that era. It was tough, No. I mean, they were interesting, but they were kind of dark and grindhousey. Let's put it that way, grindhousey.
Sure.
Just mild great bait up, but it's still a great bait up. How about you?
Yeah, I'm going to give it a great bait up too, Timo, mostly for the nostalgia part of it.
Right.
I enjoyed it though. I enjoyed watching it. I just, it was a bigger, in my mind, it was a much bigger, grandiose, transformation, I guess, too, and things like that. And I forgot that he turned into full on snake there at the end, but, you know what? I did enjoy it. And like I said, it for me, it really brought, it influenced me quite a bit as a kid. It's one of those films that I can always go back and go, man, I remember watching when I was a kid.
Don't say
trying
it.
to talk to people about that. They're like, what? Yeah. They're like, what?
Yeah.
Hitting on me.
Well, I tell you what, for being about almost 45 years old, it holds up almost as well as I do. So, So, but, I mean, for what it is, it doesn't hold up in a, oh my way. No, but it holds up in a little fun, kind of silly, kind of compelling enough, and this, snakes are pretty creepy. I mean, they were there. I was waiting for them to bite me when I was watching it. So I don't like snakes very much. Snakes bother me a little bit. So, but
yeah, I'm not the biggest fan either.
Yeah, well, I mowed lawns for people since I was 8 years old for money. I did it till I was about 20. And you want to talk about having a lot of snakes wrap around your legs and stuff while you're doing that. You get tired of snakes and ground hornets. Those are the two things you don't want to ever see again, is snakes and ground hornets. So, but yeah, so okay, well, we got 2 great babes up for and 2 great babes up for Perkins 14. So, all right. Not doing too bad. Harley, I don't know exactly what we're doing next week, but it might have something to do with Bigfoot. What do you think?
All right.
I think we might do a little Bigfoot. It might be a brand new film that's going to be coming out, I do believe, soon. I'm going to have to look into this a little bit, but we were submitted a Bigfoot film, so I know our Bigfoot fans have been waiting for us to talk some Sasquatch and all that. So until next week, Ben, Harley, stay spooky, and we'll talk to you then.
Keep it creepy, people.
You've been listening to the Timo and Harley Show, brought to you by ScreenPrintingFactory.com, your affordable one-stop solution to all your screen printing needs.